guys hear it? Okay, can I just say, the art of this is gorgeous. The art style of this is gorgeous. Okay, sorry, it's too loud. There we go. Okay, it's
this
so
world
good.
has always been so. Life abides no reason, for none are born by their own consent.
It's so pretty.
Death abides no reason, for it cannot be defied, even by those who see it coming. Time abides no reason, for it deprives us all equally, yet brooks not a second to be reclaimed. Space abides no reason.
Dude, I can't believe they just killed her right as she was about to talk about the ruler of space.
Twin travelers and mercilessly tore them apart.
That's insane. Oh my god.
The beer... No. This looks more like Rhinedottir's doing. Please don't litter other people's spaces with your bizarre creations.
Okay, for real, what is up with Rhinedottir? Like, this is such a jump scare for me. This was such a jump scare for me seeing Rhinedottir, because I thought that she would show up as a normal person, and then it was like, why is she fused with a god? They should have made Renova's hair red. Oh, hi, Valid. Hello. Also, Renova looks so cool. I know there's like discussion now of her with the what's he call it? The statue in Inazuma with the eyes. For Rhine, there's some lore after Natlan Archon quest and Paralogism quest. Oh, okay. So I was just like really shocked. I was like, oh my god, I didn't expect Rhinedottir to appear. This isn't my first reaction. This is probably like this is my second full watch through. Hi Shiroyami, welcome. But we're gonna watch more lore videos after this so that I can understand it.
Unsurprisingly, all life here has been rendered unstable, tainted by the ruler of space. I have seen enough to know that repeating this experiment would be fruitless.
You seem to wield my power as if it were nothing but a plaything for your amusement. Although merging with you has stripped me of agency.
I think it's really interesting that this, like, she's doing the screen thing. That looks like a really high-tech thing. And it's not something that you would really expect from, you know, this fantasy setting. But also it's really cool that Rhinedottir has, like, DNA symbols around her. You know, it looks like DNA helixes. But yeah, the whole screen thing, like, Nibirius appearing in screens or, you know, those little pixel things, it's really interesting because it's like, why is it displayed like that? I thought this was like a fantasy setting and it's like this high-tech shit where she's like talking through screens and mirrors. Also, Rhinedottir has heterochromia. I think that's cool. Rhinedottir has some crazy lore. I know! She just ate a shade and then became one, and then, like, I love how you can see on the sleeves, it's like that's some albedo stuff there. It's like this is where you really see albedo actually looking like her son. I thought Rhinedottir would just look like a normal person, but no, I can actually see her creating albedo in her image as her son, you know. And then she also makes Durin, who's like a fucking dragon. Like Durin for sure did not look like Albedo. Do you mean homophobia?
See, I shall still continue to voice my disapproval. My dear Rhinedottir,
Yeah, that
You
goes
have my
crazy.
respect, Nibirius. Your nagging is one of the only things that can get under my skin.
Shade of Life has white hair, but once Rhine goes om nom nom, her hair turned gold. Oh, okay.
And you,
So there's
Istaroth,
Renova.
why did you bestow history upon them?
Okay, I'm such a fan of Istaroth's design. I think she's so like she's my favorite out of them. I know that Renova looks really badass and Rhinedottir looks really haunting. Actually, Rhinedottir kind of looks like almost biblical. I don't know how to explain it. But Istaroth is gorgeous. Like that whole halo thing with stuff hanging down. I'm such a fan of that design. She just looks so ethereal. She looks like, and she looks so sad also. She looks so melancholy, which I think is very characteristic of like a god of time, because like, yeah, they're all powerful, but they must be so sad, like knowing the consequences of time and erosion and like manipulating all of it. I think it's so good. Her hair fading into sand like a time sand. Yeah. Is your mom single?
I had to find some way to pass the time, did I not? After all,
Cosplayers punching
it's
the air
clear
right
that
now.
Asmodee is not here.
Well, perhaps you could share your input a little earlier next time.
It's really funny that Renova is the most assertive one here. Or rather, it's like trying to take the wheel here and like trying to steer the conversation. Because it's like when we saw Renova, she was just a freaking eye. And then it's kind of like, what the fuck? But then here you see her as a person and she's like trying to make sense. She's trying to like make sense of it all. Three of them give the impression of being old people tired of their job waiting for retirement. No, that's so true. But they're so gorgeous.
But you're right. There's no trace of Asmodee here.
Asmodee not here.
Where has she gone? Anyway, it's time I put this space out of its misery.
Dude, she just like Thanos the space to put it out of its misery. That's crazy. I love just we're watching it disintegrate. You wonder what Asmodee's power is causing this? Well, it's gone. The space is gone. Now we just have cubes. For toes?
These meetings are just a formality.
She's so pretty. Istaroth is so... I know it was an aura walk for free. Istaroth is so pretty. She's so cool. Like, oh my god. Hi, Siak. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but hello. Imagine a 3D model. Like, can you imagine that huge halo? Oh my god, if she becomes playable, I'm gonna C6 her. Even if I end up hating her playstyle for some reason. I don't know. But if she becomes playable, I'm gonna C6 her.
Does it really matter that only 3 of us are here?
I, for one, think that we should find her. Since the heavenly principles cast us as shades, not one of us has ever missed a meet.
Okay, this really shook me because I didn't realize this was, or rather, this was the first time I'd heard them explicitly confirm these 4 gods are the 4 shades of the heavenly principles. I know that everyone's been like talking about it and like been discussing it as fact, but I loved hearing them just say it, you know? I loved hearing them say it like, yeah, we are the 4 gods. We are the 4 shades of the heavenly principles. And there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about that now.
Meeting.
What if she just switched sides? Finding her would do more harm than good.
Yeah. What if she just switched sides? Does that mean what if Asmodee is no longer on the side of the heavenly principles? I think it's interesting that these gods are still trying to be on the side of the heavenly principles, or like they're still choosing. I don't know if it's that they're still choosing to be on the side of the heavenly principles or that they haven't chosen otherwise. Because now it's like, okay, by default, because they are the shades of the heavenly principles, they are working for the heavenly principles, and then they say a line later that's like, oh, interesting. It's interesting they talk like they don't consider themselves as heavenly principles. Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like a lot of this time people would be like, oh, heavenly principles is still asleep, and then we'd think that they're referring to Asmodee, or the unknown god, where it's the unknown god who's still asleep, but it's not. Asmodee is also a shade. And yeah, the Paimon is Asmodee theory. It's like holding strong right now. Hi, the off. How are you? Welcome back from AX. Thank you. I showed my AX haul earlier, but I'm still in the States. When I come back home to the Philippines, which will be sometime next week, I'm probably going to like talk more about it just when I feel like more comfortable and a lot of stuff has settled in. But I'm in like a makeshift stream setup in the States right now. But yeah, I think it's really interesting that a lot of the time before we would talk about how the heavenly principles is probably who we now know as Asmodee. But no, aside from Asmodee is missing. She's not asleep. She's missing. And it's the heavenly principles, the big guy, who's asleep right now. Isteros is probably on the edge of betrayal because she meddles so much. Yeah, Isteros might be like an undercover right now. Hi, Camus. How do these rules work? We'll see. I'm not making guides anymore, but this Genshin video has sucked me back in.
Now there's an interesting idea. Better than being devoured.
Actual mother. Like, actual mother. Oh my god.
Just switched sides? You make it sound like such a trivial affair. We are shades, shadows of the heavenly principles. It's unthinkable. Unless she loves her new master more than her own self.
Okay, wait, the eyes. Asmodee is just a sustainer of the heavenly principles. Yep. You volunteered to be Albedo's dad. Wait. This is cool. It's the, what do you call it? The triquetra? The triquetras are all over the place.
Unless she loves her new master more than her own self.
It's a 7. That's so specific. It's a 7-pointed star. Nobody's looking at the triquetra. I'm looking at the eyes up here, guys. Eyes up here.
Such a trivial affair. We are shades, shadows of the heavenly principles. It's unthinkable. Unless she loves her new master more than her own self.
Ranova, do you know that you're being watched?
By whom? Whose gaze could pierce this far?
Okay, this was crazy. Like, this was crazy aura. that was insane. I was like, what is Pierro doing? How does his gaze pierce that fucking far? Bro has, it's not even like 20/20 vision. It's just like 0/0. What? That was crazy. Is that, how does he see that far? I don't know. He's just him. He is just him. He is like there challenging the gods with his aura farming gaze. Is he a bird too? And he's just like looking up with that one angry eye. No, I'm kidding. His second eye must be functional too, at least. But I was like, holy crap, that was such a dude. Look at that. And Renova's just here like, oh yeah, him. I remember him. I ruined his life like how many hundreds of years ago.
I remember those eyes. It was just before I placed the curse of immortality.
But also it's kind of crazy to see like this entire thing happening and it's like, oh my god, there's a god just floating there. And it's also really interesting seeing her floating there instead of seeing the fucking death eye. You know, I would have expected her to show up as the death eye and not like as a person here. But she is a whole person. She has the person form here, which is cool.
The curse of immortality.
Just casually stares back at Pierro. They're having a standoff. That was so peak. And Pierro's just like standing there taking it.
Ah, yes. He's an old acquaintance of mine.
Okay, Rhinedottir and Pierro being like old acquaintances. That's fun. He's completely unfazed. He's just there. He's like, it's not even that he's unfazed. He's just like, you can't affect me. I'm going to stand here. I'm going to look cool. And I'm going to make sure that I live long enough to take you down kind of stare. You know? I think that that's like pretty based. He's staring death in the eye. True. Literally staring death in the eye. It's crazy.
I'm sure that working for the Tsaritsas helped him let go of his past obsessions.
The Cryo Archon. With her paltry powers, she dares set her gaze on the heavenly principles.
I wonder, okay, when she says sets her gaze on the heavenly principles, I wonder if that's similar to how Pierro has his gaze on Renova, wherein the Cryo Archon can actually see the heavenly principles. Because it could just be figurative, where it's just like, okay, the Tsaritsa has set her focus on the heavenly principles. That could be the figurative meaning. But now that they're like, whose gaze pierces that far, and Pierro is watching Renova, does that mean like if we saw from Tsaritsa's POV that she can actually see the heavenly principles?
The heavenly principles have yet to awaken. If I were her, I wouldn't pass on that opportunity either.
My dear Rhinedottir, you know I cannot allow you to think that way.
It was purely...
I like how Naberius is just like, you know how when you have like an angel and a demon on your shoulder, and she's just like on this screen that appears like above Rhinedottir's shoulder? Yeah, I feel so uncomfortable with Nova's morals. She seems gentle and thoughtful, but also so destructive and evil at the same time. I mean, I think what's interesting is that because Renova admits that they are shades of the heavenly principles, it's like we're not even sure if their willpower or their will is their own, because it's like they're probably in this weird position of they have to enact the will of the heavenly principles, but then they're trying to figure out how to go about it. Oh, thank you for the bonk. I don't have like my bonk extension right now, but like, there you go. But the fact that Istaroth is meddling, I think Istaroth is kind of like towing the line. Like she's trying to still enact the heavenly kind of like what Focalors was doing, where Focalor was like trying to stay within the bounds of what is allowable from an Archon, but also trying to deceive or trying to bend what they could do, you know? So I think that in terms of morals, I'm not sure if the heavenly principles, or rather if the shades hold on to a specific rule of morality apart from what they have to follow from the heavenly principles, if that makes sense. She says it's not thinkable to betray them, but then she says, unless you don't mind dying for it. Yeah, exactly. So it's like the only reason Asmodee would betray the heavenly principles is if Asmodee found a new master that she loves more than herself, because betraying the heavenly principles essentially spells out death, which for a shade sounds unthinkable. I'm in the Genshin Impact category. I know the lore video sucked me back in. I'm not. It's insane. Veda's the only one who can call Rhinedottir mommy. Damn. Renova got punished for breaking the rules and helping Natlin. Yeah. So, Renova do be doing.
It was purely hypothetical, Nibirius.
For lack of a direct order, I say it's time we intervened. Of course, to the extent permitted by the rule.
Yeah, see, so basically, they've reached this point where they do want to intervene, but they have to stay within the rules because they don't want to die. They don't want to lose their power. They don't want to die. They don't want to get punished. But as we know later on, they do still kind of start facing some consequences. Maybe it isn't entirely unthinkable. Maybe. Maybe. Okay, back to aura farming
The
man.
gaze of the gods has always been considered a blessing.
Okay, not gonna lie, when I was like watching this part, the gaze stop, guys, focus. The gaze. Focus. When I was watching this part, I was kind of laughing at how many times he said the gods, the gaze of the gods, and like how angrily he said it also. He's just like, the gaze of the gods, the gaze of the gods, the gaze. Okay, guys, summon the gaze. Where are you? Bonk and posture check. Thank you. I bonked myself. Don't worry. I can't do like the auto bonk now because I'm not home. I don't have my usual setup with me. I would have done the auto bonk. He said it like a slur. I know. The gaze of the gods.
Hence the origin and meaning of visions. People have always yearned for the gaze of the gods.
He just keeps saying the gaze of the gods. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm blocking the aura farming man. Let me move over here. Okay. Queer gods unite. All for the gaze of the gods. The gaze. Okay, I saw this really funny tweet that referred to Child as Zhongli's 1,000-year situationship. Or rather, Zhongli as Child's 1,000-year-old situationship. I found that really funny. He'll see me too. With the gaze of the gods.
And yet, it is said that when mortals look directly upon the gods, they invite their wrath and retribution. And what of it?
Oh, that's fun. So when Pierro looked right at the god Renova, at the god of death, he invites their wrath and retribution. Okay.
Lives will be lost, a nation brought to ruins. So be it. It is nothing I have not endured before.
Pierro's like, bring it on. This is not my first rodeo. Dude, Pierro's so cool. He's not afraid of anything. He's literally not afraid of anything.
I already know the price of gazing upon the gods. So tell me, what is the price of killing a god?
That was fucking crazy. What is the price of killing a god? Man does not fear anything. He doesn't fear death. He no longer fears immortality. He's cursed. He does not need to be afraid of anything. I know, that gave me shivers. That gave me like goosebumps. I was like, what is this man on? He has nothing to lose. He will kill a god given the chance. And that is so crazy. This is some subversive shit right here. Like, he's ready to take down the higher powers, man. Killing the gay gods in 2025. Yeah.
The god stays silent, as if the thought had never once crossed his mind. To all those who dare not look up to the heavens, Her Majesty the Tsaritsa says this. Behold, even the gods have their limits.
Okay, wait, before we go to the super end, it's so crazy that we end up here and then it's like right under Celestia. It's like, I swear, they're going to fucking Death Star the shit out of Celestia.
It is nothing I have not endured before. I already know the price of gazing upon the gods. So tell me, what is the price of killing a god? The god stays silent, as if the thought had never once crossed his mind. To all those who dare not look up to the heavens, Her Majesty the Tsaritsa says this. Behold, even the gods have their limits.
It's just a visual representation. Celestia is actually above Chenyu Vale in Lie. Well, they might also be setting something up in Chenyu Vale. I feel like it's not above the Fatui to try to Death Star beam Celestia. Wherever Celestia is above, I feel like that should be Fatui ground zero if they really are after the gods, you know? Yeah. We can throw Paimon far enough.
Inspection over. Return to your posts.
Make sure the Frostmoon Scions don't pose a threat.
Per the Pale Star Edict, we are to retrieve the damselette from Nodkrai, whatever it takes.
What is going on? What is she doing there? Is that Nodkrai? Why do they say Nodkrai? But that doesn't, is that really Nodkrai? And then it has like flowers. Why does it look like a similar landscape to the Travail trailer? I don't think it is, but it's like, is that really Nodkrai? The Harbinger from LimeWire. I know, it looks digital. Like they have a screen. It's like they have a camera of her.